Alright, so today we're going to be doing the first review on this page, on this channel, whatever it may be. I'm going to be doing movie and TV show reviews, so if you want to suggest something for me to review, just comment it down below and I'll probably watch it and give it a nice little review. But today's review is on The Boys Season 1. I recently binge watched all of the seasons of The Boys after I watched Season 4, not really before, like most people would do, but I did it after. But yeah, today is The Boys Season 1 review. There will be videos for Season 2, Season 3, and Season 4 after this, and then there will also be a video of all of The Boys so far rated. So, The Boys Season 1 plot. So, for The Boys Season 1 plot, I gave it a 9. When I first started watching it, and the first episode, they hit you with what happened to Robin, and they hit you with Butcher and Translucent, and the introduction to Homelander, which already kind of feels a little crazy, but you don't fully know yet. I feel like they did a really good job of making you interested to see how messed up all of the superheroes and supervillains and whatever was going on in the world. I feel like they did a really good job of like making that very, very intriguing. And then the actual execution of the plot throughout the season about trying to, take out Translucent, and then that kind of escalates into there's gonna be a lawnmower the rest of the episode. But yeah, that kind of escalates into the Homelander Butcher situation and all that's going on. This is really unfortunate. God, I hate this. All right, let me try and get through this quick. Is it really outside the window? Okay. Okay, so the acting, 8. The acting is nothing special. It's pretty much bare bones, get the job done acting, with the exception of Homelander. He creeps you out pretty much every time you see him. And it starts off kind of slow. It starts off kind of like, okay, is this guy's just like a little messed up, and then it graduates into what? Like every scene you're like, what are we even doing here? Dialogue at 8, let's be honest, the acting and the dialogue is not the intrigue of the show. The intrigue of the show is extreme violence and the parody on our world, ourself, our political world, and then it also the parody of the Marvel Cinematic Universe and the DC Universe, and just things in general. Yeah, so dialogue, not really a big deal for this. Cinematography, it's at 8.4 is what I have it at. It's really kind of hard to describe what gets at the 8.4. It's not really, especially in the early seasons, it's not really that visually impressive. It's got like weird like J.J. Abrams 2009 filters in it, where it's like everything is just filtered like crazy. It's got that Ozark effect where sometimes shit just goes blue for no reason. It's just blue, and you're like, why is everything blue? Why are you blue? Yeah, it just does that occasionally. And I'm not really a fan of it, but for the sake of making things look realistic in this superhero world, with like Vought Tower and like the visual effects on the gore that actually happen throughout the episode, and they make Homelander believable with his visual effects, and they don't make anything feel fake or weird as far as how the superheroes interact, and as far as the believability of the world around you, and like how the superheroes' powers actually work. They do a good job of that, so I think they get a base at 8.4 on that. Soundtrack, they start off with Billy Joel. Pretty much every single episode of the first season is like Billy Joel, and can't really go wrong with that. It feels like, I don't know if I'm using this word right, but the juxtaposition of Billy Joel with this extremely messed up like superhero, supervillain, like fantasy world that we're in, this happy-go-lucky like upbeat type music, and then you're just seeing like the goriest you're just seeing like the goriest like stuff. So yeah, I would say 8.7 is a proper rating, because the Billy Joel stuff works. Is it really gonna stall outside the window? What are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Yeah, I'd say 8.7 for the Billy Joel stuff. It's not phenomenal. It's not an original soundtrack. but it is good and it does serve its purpose. Immersion. I don't think that's not applicable, not applicable. Na, na, just not applicable. Not. It's one of those words I just said. The show doesn't really go for immersion. I mean, you could make the argument that by like trying to convince you that this world of superheroes is real, that's the immersion. This is not the typical definition of immersion that I'm talking about. Comedy 8.4. There's some pretty good jokes in here. Most of the jokes though are like messed up jokes type stuff. It's like if the dark humor Chad bro made a show, it's like those are the jokes pretty much, and it's fine. It gets an occasional laugh out of you, but it's not anything that's gonna make you piss your pants. World building for the first season 9-1. They do a pretty damn good job of convincing you that this world is real. The way that superheroes interact with normal people in the world is real, and they just kind of really give you an idea of what you're looking at as far as the entire world goes. They let you know that there's a superhero team. They let you know about Vought, this mega corporation that kind of rules over everybody. They show you basically a bunch of different perspectives of Butcher's perspective of an average person who was affected in the past by soups, and then Huey's perspective of an average person affected by soups in the present, and then they give you like A-Train's perspective on having been in the Seven and kind of not liking being under Homelander, but he's also kind of corrupt himself because of how long he's been with these messed up people. And then Homelander, who is the ruling over the top guy over everyone, and he's kind of just now figuring out his power and how much leverage he has, and he's able to kind of bully people with that. And I just think they do a really good job of making the world feel like it's like an actual like system that relies on itself. And I think that it's really shown pretty well with Starlight. Actually, I think Starlight's probably the best character for showing world building in season 1, because she goes from not being in the Seven, from kind of just being like a soup out in the world, and then she goes into the Seven, and she kind of like follows the track of like an average everyday person moving into that crazy world, and then it kind of just expands on everything around her from there. And I think world building in the first season was phenomenal. Characters 8-9. 8-9 for season 1. The reason it's not like higher is because they're not. I feel like the first season of The Boys, the characters aren't like at that like point yet of knowing their character. I feel like they get to that in maybe a little bit of season 2, and definitely in season 3 and season 4. I feel like they really know who their character is that they're playing, and that really helps the story and it helps their character shine. In season 1, when I'm rewatching, I'm like, dude, why is Butcher talking like this? Butcher's kind of talking nice right now. Why is he being a nice guy? And it's because at that point they hadn't fully developed that Butcher's just kind of an asshole to everyone. But yeah, I mean, I think it was fine as far as character introductions and like the way that they interacted in the world. But yeah, I've like birds or squirrels in my walls, so that's what's going on there. Anyway, so that is it for The Boys season 1, and the final rating I gave it is a 8.8. Not a 9, not like, I wouldn't call it like really good, because I think that's about what a 9 is, but it's definitely, I guess, solid is what I'd call it. It's somewhere between good and really good. It's not quite really good because I don't think they really had everything figured out in season 1, but the intrigue of how that world works, the way that they have parodied, our real world politics and the MCU and the DCU, it feels like parody done right in the first season. It feels like they really understood what they were going for, and not only did they understand what they were going for, but they basically executed all the important pillars. They said, acting and dialogue is not what people are going to be watching this for. That's why I gave it an 8. Acting and dialogue in the show is bare bones. It's just purely to get the plot out there, purely to get the parody out there. And then they complement that with like okay visuals, okay cinematography, and then they also complement it with an okay to good soundtrack with the Billy Joel stuff that they do, and also all the other music that they do. But yeah, I really really liked The Boys season 1. I felt like, to me, it almost felt the best that the show like ever was. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. That is my first rating on the channel. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree. And also let me know if you have any suggestions for me to review a movie or a TV show. Anyway, yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to, you don't have to like and subscribe. You don't have to do that. But thank you for watching. And yeah, peace.